Shmackemogob, there you go, an intro to the news. I've noticed a lot of people have been leaving me positive feedback on the little news segments I make, so here's a new one. And want to wish you all a happy Merry Christmas. I won't be around the next few days, but I have things scheduled on the channel that at 8 p.m. every night something's going to pop up. I love how YouTube has scheduling, so I don't even have to be home to put stuff up on YouTube. So Merry Christmas to everybody, and let's get into the news. Pete Townsend came out and said that the Who sorta kinda invented metal. I know what you're doing, Pete. You know, here's the thing. When it comes to Pete Townsend, I mean, he said he was glad that Keith Moon and John Entwistle are no longer around. Then he retracted it and said, look, I didn't mean it that way, but, you know, either way, I mean, that's going to grab headlines. When you say stuff like that, it grabs headlines. That's why everybody talks about Kanye West, Lars Ulrich, Gene Simmons, because they always say this outlandish shit that makes people lose their mind. Like when Gene said he invented the horns and rock music's dead and all this stuff, people just bitch and bitch about him, and it gets his name out there. Lars as well, Kanye, he doesn't have to say anything. He just shows his face and people will bitch about him. And Pete, I think, is doing the same thing with this, that he invented metal or the Who invented metal. Look, I've seen the reaction of people, and you know, there's all this debate, you know, I mean, you know, some people agree with me. They say, no, you know, metal started with Black Sabbath. That first Black Sabbath album started it all. And then there's people that say Blue Cheer, and I'm like, Blue Cheer? Look, I dig Blue Cheer. I have that Eruptus album, whatever it's called. But what's so different about that than Jimi Hendrix? I mean, Jimi Hendrix was doing it before Blue Cheer. Then you have Helter Skelter from the Beatles. And even some, you know, You Really Got Me with the distorted guitar. And, hey, you know, you can like point at Live at Leeds, as Pete said, it's a heavy album, but it's not metal. You know, if anything, I would give the Who credit for punk rock because of my generation, because it's such a snotty song, and it's got that punk rock edge. So you know, but that's just one song. They weren't a punk band, but I'm just saying that one song is more punk. When I listen to Live at Leeds, it's good hard rock. You know, it's a great live album, fantastic, but I don't even think Pete believes it. I figured Pete was like, all right, I pissed off the Who fans talking about John and Keith. Now let me piss off the metal community, and it worked. But you know, I ain't falling for it. I ain't falling for the Gene Simmons bullshit. And you know, there's certain people that don't do it for news. There's certain people that would lie. I'm not going to name names, but you know, certain people with contracts that they, you know, breach a contract. Certain people that said they were selling out arenas the same time Van Halen was during 1984. You know, those people, I think they do it not for publicity to get, you know, they do it because they're just bullshit artists. So some people do it for publicity, some people do it because they're douchebags. So that's what I think of the Who thing. And yeah, I know I'm probably going to get comments below saying, well, it wasn't Black Sabbath, it was Blue Cheer, it was Led Zeppelin, it was this and that. Look, I'm going to make a meme come alive now. This is my reaction when anybody says to me, Black Sabbath did not invent heavy metal. Okay, now Jason Becker, the incredible guitar player, absolutely love him. I have some of his solo CDs. I was into Jason Becker before he was in David Lee Roth, so you know, I liked a lot of that Shrapnel stuff. And he said he got an early Christmas present this year that the doctor said, you know, certain things of, you know, because of his Lou Gehrig disease has improved, but he also said, you know, he communicates with his eyes. You know, his eyes, he communicates with it, and he says now his left eye is getting kind of weak. So he's asking us for prayers. So if you all believe in prayers, or even if you don't believe in prayers, come on, fake it for Jason, man. The guy's a living miracle. He's still around, composes music with his eyes. A genius, and he's a great person, and doesn't deserve the life he's in. So, man, the only way he can communicate is with his eyes, and now his left eye is getting really weak. And I know I'm praying for him, and I hope many of you pray for him as well. To Jason Becker, man, all the best. Hope the best for Jason Becker. Now, Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols recently had a heart attack, and man, hopefully he'll. You know, I don't know if you guys ever seen the Jonesy Jukebox. It's really good. He has some good guests on there, and he's funny, man. I'm a big Sex Pistols fan, so. Well, I'm a Sex Pistols fan for the one album they did. Everything else wasn't really albums. It was just compilations and doohickeys. But I love Steve Jones, you know. I love the Sex Pistols, therefore I love Steve Jones. And hopefully, you know, watching him on Jonesy's Jukebox, he does look very unhealthy. And which is surprising, I would say, because I remember Steve Jones in the 80s. When he had that little solo career going, the guy was in shape, man. And now he's you know, honestly, it didn't surprise me he had a heart attack. But hopefully this will help him change his diet and live a long, healthy life. Because we need Steve Jones, and we need Johnny Rotten, and we need, well, I don't know about you, but I do. I need them. I need them on this planet. So best of luck to Steve Jones, and I hope he gets very healthy and never suffers a heart attack again. In better news, Def Leppard, a band that I haven't really cared about since Pyromania. I think everything that they did with Pete Willis was awesome. Pete Willis did play on some of Pyromania and had a lot to do with the songwriting. I know a lot of people bash Pyromania. I mean, yeah, I like the two before it. I give it a slight edge to High and Dry, but not by much against the first album. You know, the first album to me, when I was a kid, 1980, when that album came out, man, so many, that's my favorite year of metal. And so many great albums came out that year. And I gotta say, in the year of 1980, I think that's the album I played the most, was On Through the Night. I absolutely love that album. And surprisingly, it's going to be the 40th anniversary of On Through the Night. And Joe Elliott went on Eddie Trunk, and I don't usually listen to Eddie Trunk, but I got that Sirius radio on my computer. I don't know if it's for free or it's a trial run. I don't know, but I read on Blabbermouth that he was on Eddie Trunk talking about On Through the Night, so I had to go to my little Sirius link and listen to him, and I was very surprised, man, because Def Leppard is notorious for ignoring that first album. Now and then they'll play Wasted live, or you know, and On Through the Night, and Let It Go, but they pretty much ignore those first two albums for the most part. And I've read many interviews, even back in like '83, of Joe bashing On Through the Night, saying he wasn't happy with it, he didn't like his voice in it. You know, his voice is very different than it was on High and Dry. And speaking of which, I'll never forget, I mean, such a Def Leppard fanatic at that time with On Through the Night, that a year later, the radio, I was listening to radio and they said, coming up, new Def Leppard. And I was like, whoa, new Def Leppard. So I waited after the commercials, and when they played it, they played Let It Go. And when I first heard Let It Go, the first thing I thought, listening to it, I said, holy shit, they got rid of Joe Elliott, because it's a totally different voice. But when I ran out and bought the album, I was surprised to see it was still Joe Elliott. But Joe did say on that Eddie Trunk interview that they're going to release, I think, a box set or some kind of re-release of On Through the Night, and they're going to add a live show, which is mind-blowing to me because, you know, from a guy that's bashed this album so much, now he's re-releasing it with a live show. And he even praised the live show. He even said, it's amazing how it sounds. He still did a little dig at his own voice back then, but hey man, he's releasing it. That's all I care about. So I'm very, very excited for this On Through the Night release in 2020. And he said it'll be like in the early part. I think the latest will be in April. So I very much look forward to that. And On Through the Night deluxe edition. That's going to be awesome. Now, Armored Saint has, Gonzo said that he just finished all the drum tracking to the new Armored Saint album, and I'm very excited because I'm a huge fan of Armored Saint. They're one of those rare bands that I don't think ever made a bad album. I think their discography is solid. The only one I had a problem with, but it was a grower, and now I love it, is La Raza. When I first heard that, I was like, oh, they finally made one I don't like. But then, man, living with it for a while, and the song Chilled, it's a badass album. It's actually a great album. But I'm very much looking forward to it. Joey Vera also said that there will be released Fate's Warning album within months of the new Armored Saint. So he's a busy guy because he's in both bands. Hell, he's in Merciful Fate too now, doing shows with Merciful Fate, filling in for the late, great Timmy Hansen. But yeah, that's very exciting to know that Armored Saint's going to release another album. And boy, as the record shows, I'm willing to bet it's going to be a kick-ass album. I love Armored Saint. You know, I like John Bush and Anthrax. I mean, I love Sound of White Noise. Stomp 442, for the most part, I liked. Volume 8 I didn't like. And the one after that I didn't like. I think there was maybe a song or two I liked off each. But to me, I've always been an Armored Saint fan. Even back when March of the Saint came out, one of my favorite bands, actually. And I'll take them over Anthrax any day. So I'm very excited to know about that. And Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, damn, what's the name of that song? Underneath the Graveyard or whatever. Released a video for it. And, oh man, I mean, I'm not a fan of the song. But watching the video, I think I like the video even less. I mean, there's a young Sharon who, when you know, Sharon did not look like that back then. I mean, go look at footage of Sharon. You know, there is a Blu-ray I own of ELO. I think it's ELO at Wembley. And back then, her father and her, you know, were working with ELO. And at the very beginning of the video, when you see people walking into the show, you see a young Sharon Osbourne. And I know what Sharon looked like, you know, when she first started managing Ozzy. There's many pictures online. Didn't look like her at all. And Ozzy, the kid that played Ozzy, I mean, looked like a teenager. You know, and it was just so, I don't know, man. They're reenacting Ozzy, you know, how he was when Sharon saved him, which she did, you know. I mean, I may bash the girl, but Ozzy would probably be dead now if it wasn't for her. You know, so she really did save his life, and she, you know, and a lot of people, oh, she ruined him too. Well, I'm sorry, but Ozzy is the most popular metal artist out there today. As far as, you know, solo artist in metal, I can't think of any solo artist in metal that has achieved as much fame as Ozzy has, and you have to thank that a lot to that cutthroat, ruthless cunt known as Sharon Osbourne. I'm not a fan of hers, you know, honestly, but, you know, hey, man, she saved them. That's all I can say about that. But the video sucks. The song is terrible. It's like, I don't know, man. You know, he did that Post Malone shit, and it kind of sounds like, you know, that kind of vibe. I mean, I know it's more heavy and stuff, but, you know, the Post Malone is pure pop crap. But this one is still that voice. It's just not doing anything for me. I've seen people online that do like it. Not as much as the people I see online hate it. But hey, man, I go with what I think. And, you know, speaking of which, I'll end the news with this. Little movie news. Well, two new movie things. I don't know if I've discussed this on the channel yet. But that movie, Dr.Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining, was unbelievably great. It was so good. It was amazing, and I found out later it didn't do good at box office. Man, I gotta recommend, especially if you like The Shining. You will love this movie, and I heard they're gonna be releasing it on Blu-ray with a 3-hour version, so hell yeah. I look forward to that. It was the best movie I saw this year. And another movie that's getting a lot of bashing, I went to the theater and saw it and thoroughly enjoyed it, was the Star Wars movie. The Rise of Skywalker was fucking awesome. I went with a couple girls to that movie, so if I didn't go with those girls to the movie, I'll tell you this right now, I would have cried like a little girl, because that ending the last words said in that movie, I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, but it almost made me cry. It would have made me cry if those two chicks weren't with me. But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful ending. It was an awesome movie. I mean, I'll be honest. I never really liked Finn or Poe. I think whatever. And, not that I'm going to spoil it. If you think I'm going to spoil it because I'm about to say a little thing, then turn this off now. Alright? Turn it off. It's not a big spoiler, but whatever. One thing that really scared me about that new Star Wars movie was the Ewoks showed up. And I was like, oh no! Because I hate those little critters. I mean, I hate those fuckers. They ruined. I thought Return of the Jedi was awesome, but them, I can't stand them. I can't stand the Ewoks. They showed up in the new one, but they didn't do shit. They showed up and left. I was like, oh, thank God. Stay gone, It's like, fucking, they annoy me as much as Jar Jar. But, hey, 2 thumbs up. One for DrSleep, the other one for the new Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. I absolutely loved it. I know a lot of people don't, but that's them, and I don't give a fuck what they think. And you shouldn't give a fuck what I think if you hated it. Who cares what I think? I'm just giving you what I think, and I'm not you. And anyway, that's it for the news. Thank you for watching. A very Merry Christmas to everybody. I'm going to put up some cool shit this week. This Saturday, I got a special track-by-track episode for my friend Jackson Routing, who donated to my PayPal. The link is below. Somebody else wanted to donate to me, but they didn't know how to do it. You got to go to PayPal, then send money, and then there's that email underneath. And tell me what you want me to do. Somebody, oh, now I got to go search his name. Edit. All right, I'm back. His name is Eric Salmon. Eric Salmon sent me a donation on PayPal, and all he wrote in it was, thank you so much for the videos. And I wrote him saying, hey man, do you want me to do anything for you? And he never got back to me. But Eric, if you want me to do a video for you, just let me know. And anybody out there that wants to donate, ask me to do something. If you ask me to do something I'm not knowledgeable about, like if you want me to do a track by track, or you want me to talk about an album that I don't know, I will send the money back. But if I do know it, I will do it. You don't have to send money. I'm doing this for free. This channel's not monetized. I got over 15,000 subscribers. I can easily monetize it, but I'd be making you guys sit through commercials and bullshit like that. So I keep it free. So if you want to help a guy that does it for free, because I love vinyl and they're expensive. So right down below in the description, that's my PayPal address. Go to PayPal and send money to that address, and don't forget to write in the description what you want me to do. And I want to thank you, Eric and Jackson, so much. Jackson wanted me to do something for him, a track by track, which I am doing on Saturday, but I want to surprise Jackson because I did something different than my other track by tracks, and it's awesome. I know he's going to love it. He gave me a great donation, a very healthy donation, and I think he deserves it. So again, thanks everybody. If you don't want to donate, that's fine, but shit, at least subscribe to me, man, and press that little bell. Thank you so much, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, SHMACKEMAGOB. This video has been brought to you by Miami Metal Merchant. For your metal needs at competitive prices, visit MiamiMetalMerchant.com. Tell them Dr. FUKK sent you.